Hello, Namaskar and good afternoon everyone. I'm Tanvi Khurana and I'm your host for today. On behalf of CIET, NCERT and Adobe India, I warmly welcome all the educators to this 8th training session of this pilot program, where we prepare students for essential creativity skills. This session is titled Discuss and Design the Digital Portfolios and Web Pages using Adobe Express. And we are delighted to have teachers, teacher educators and school leaders from the states of Delhi, Haryana, Gujarat, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh and Assam joining us today. Thank you for tuning in to our YouTube channel, that is NCERT Events, where you can see us live at this moment. Apart from this, you are also watching us on our eVidya channel number 14. So on our YouTube channel, you can write down your questions, your queries regarding this topic. If you have any doubts regarding how to create digital portfolios and web pages using Adobe Express, please be a participant in this program. Let me tell you, with the advent of digital tools and platforms, NCERT and National Education Policy, that is NEP 2020, emphasize the need to integrate technology into educational practices to enhance accessibility, engagement, and also effectiveness. This makes learning easier and absolutely more fun. Students can find lots of helpful stuff online, work with students from different places, and enjoy learning more. So, through a synergistic combination of technology and creativity-focused pedagogies, NCERT CIET, in collaboration with Adobe India, has designed this particular program, which aims to cultivate creativity, innovation, and digital empowerment among the educators. So, let's play a video and show you a glimpse of our pilot program.
NCERT, in collaboration with Adobe India, presents a pioneering online training program. Discover the power of Adobe Express and Adobe Acrobat with AI Assistant to bring digital creativity and AI skills into the classroom. Starting from 6th of June till the end of July, join us every Tuesday and Thursday from 3:30 to 5 p.m. Tune in to the NCERT Events YouTube channel and be a part of the future of education.
Welcome back. As you've just seen in the video, that the pilot program officially kicked off on Monday, that was 3rd of June. And over the course of 1.5 months, that is starting from 3rd of June till 31st of July 2024, this is going to be a 20-hour program. And it's divided into two parts. Firstly, a mandatory segment for all the teachers, regardless of their subject. And secondly, specialized techniques for integrating subjects into their curriculum. Now, let us show you a proper schedule in detail. Welcome back once again. And now let's get ready to ignite your creativity with Adobe Express as we embark on an exciting journey. Today we have two experts in our studio, and let me please introduce them to all of you. My first guest is Ms. Jasmeet Kaur Kang. Ma'am, a very warm welcome.
Thank you.
And you can see next to me is sitting another guest, and she is Ms. Niharika Bhayana Khatri. Ma'am, welcome to our session. Thank you. So we have two experts, and let me please give you a brief introduction about both these experts. We have Ms. Jasmeet Kaur Kang, and she is an educational evangelist with Adobe India. She leads K-12 professional development activities and thought leadership for Adobe Express to build a community of Adobe creative educators in India. Now let me introduce another guest. Ms. Niharika Bhayana Khatri is an education leader with 15 years of experience in the fields of education and skilling. Prior to joining Adobe, she worked with National Skill Development Corporation under the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and have spearheaded the development of employability and entrepreneurial skills curriculum and was leading the digital content and learning track for the national level digital infrastructure platform Skill India Digital. Well, Ms. Khatri has also authored over 15 books for K-12 students and teachers addressing various national and international curricula. Let me please welcome both the experts once again to our program. So let's begin with this discussion. But before we proceed with our today's session, let's just ask Jasmeet ma'am. Ma'am, would you like to tell us or quickly give us a recap of what we did earlier in the last program?
Sure. So in our last session, we talked about visual thinking routines. So we all discussed about the various elements of how we could make our learning, the students' learning better. And we also sort of looked at ways of doing the visual thinking routines. So we discussed how we could do it through graphic organizers, infographics, videos, etc. We also discussed the 5 essential E's, which was engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. And we had a lot of submissions coming in from your end as well. So thank you, teachers, for sending us your submissions through the Padlet. We are loving whatever you are creating and sharing with us on the Padlet. So thanks a lot for that.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving us a recap of what we did last time. And ma'am, Niharika ma'am, I have a question to you as well. So there's a welcome kit that has been shared with all the participants. Would you like to take us through what exactly is this kit all about?
Surely, thank you. So let me just showcase my screen so that the welcome kit that we have sent out to all the participants who have registered with us can be showcased here. Just a minute. So dear participants, I welcome you again to this session. As part of your joining, we had sent out 2 emails to you. The first email is a welcome kit, which includes the login guidebook, basically a guiding page which tells you how you can log in into Adobe Express accounts. It contains the schedule of the entire pilot series and a web page. So on my screen, you can see the web page, which contains all relevant information related with the pilot program. It has the introductory video, the detailed training schedule, and also the steps for login for your ease. Alongside, once all the activation, the account activation has been done, we have sent you another email regarding your Adobe Express educational accounts. We request you all to kindly activate your accounts, educational accounts, by logging in using the processes which have been detailed out on this web page. So the registration is open till 30th of this month. In case you haven't received any of the emails from Adobe, you need not worry. Please re-register on the registration link which was shared with you by NCERT, and we will get back with you from in Adobe with the license. So I request again that please log in into your Adobe Express educational licenses and activate and be part of this session with us. Thank you, Tanvi.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And with this information, let's just quickly show an introduction video to all our viewers about Adobe Express. So let's have a look.
All right, viewers. So we just watched a video on Adobe Express, and as you all know by now that Adobe Express is a software in which you can create a lot of educational content such as infographic, posters, web pages, worksheets, lesson plans, etc. You can also ignite creativity inside your classrooms using Adobe Express. But to log into Adobe Express, we have a video that we'll showcase right after I show the login process to all of you on my screen. And for that, you'll have to go to new.express.adobe.com. So as you can see, once you type new.express.adobe.com, you will see this kind of a screen. If you have logged into your educational accounts already, you can simply click on Continue with Google, and you will get an option to select the first option, which is your Pilot Digital Creativity Skills profile. Click on that and sign into your accounts. If you have never logged into Adobe Express before, then I request you to type in your email ID and password, and then you will see a screen in which you will have to select your profile. So as soon as I click on my profile over here, it will log into Adobe Express and I'll be able to see the home screen of Express. And that ways you could also be a part of this session for today, where you can create content alongside with us. So let's watch the sign-in video also, so that you can understand the process of how do we sign in into Adobe Express. Let's have the sign-in video,
This
please.
video depicts the process of logging into your Adobe Express educational accounts. To begin with, please follow the teacher's login guide provided in your welcome kit. In the teacher's login guide, we have depicted 4 steps for you to follow to log into your Adobe Express educational accounts. Kindly remember to use your registered email ID only. On the first page, please click on the Adobe Express link provided. This will take you to the login page of Adobe Express. On the login page, please enter your registered email ID to proceed into your login. Now enter the password linked with your email ID. And click on Continue. Upon continuing, you will be given option to choose between 2 profiles. Kindly select the Pilot Digital Creativity Skills profile only. This will take you to your Adobe Express educational account. Your educational account will look something like this. It will welcome you with your name, and on the left panel, you can see the educational resources. Welcome. Now let's begin.
So since all of you have watched this login video, I really hope that you have all logged in to your educational accounts for now. But if you have not, let me ask you that have you successfully logged in to your accounts? If you have not, then please do it right away, because we want you to be engaged. We want you to be a participant in this entire program. We want you to finish this project with us. And the creations that we are going to do in this particular program, do it along with us and submit your responses as well. So let's have a quick look at this QR code where you can scan it very easily, very quickly, and then simply submit your responses. Be a participant, and this educational account that you're going to log in is very easy. It's just a few steps away. All you have to do is scan this QR code. So let's have a quick look at this QR code. Here you can see it on your screens. I really hope that you have activated your account so far.
Dear users, we request you again and again to please activate your accounts. Please log in into your Adobe Express educational accounts and kindly send the response through Mentimeter. The Mentimeter question, which is flashing on the screen, will remain open for 1 minute for all the users attending the session today. Kindly log in into your account, scan the QR code and send us your responses. In case any of the user is not able to log in due to any technical issue or other issue, please send in your response in question number 2, which we will be flashing shortly after this, so that we can get back by addressing your queries. So the ones who have not yet received any email from Adobe with activation of the license, you need not worry. Please re-register yourself using NCRT registration link, and we will send in the educational account activation link on your registered email ID. Please ensure that when you are filling up the registration form, kindly cross-check the email ID that you are adding in. Sometimes when we are in a hurry, we might make a mistake in leaving out some spaces in our email ID. Requesting again, please check your email ID when you're registering yourself for this pilot sessions. Kindly submit your responses. We are waiting. The Mentimeter is open for 1 minute. Log in into your account because we want you to be available with us, and then we'll be performing a hands-on activity today. So kindly log in into your Adobe Express educational account and submit your responses.
And with this, let's move on to another question that we have for all of you. If in case you are unable to log in to your educational accounts, which problem did you face? Is there any technical problem? Is there any non-technical problem that you faced? Please share us details of your problem. And like ma'am said, there is another QR code and we'll be definitely waiting for your responses. Here you can see the QR code on your screens. Please wait. We are here till the end of this entire session, and that is till 5 o'clock. So you have a lot of time for sharing your questions, queries. But for this particular QR code, you have limited time period.
So the QR code that is flashing right in front of the screen, you can see. Yes. So the QR code, please, in case you're not able to log in, tell us more about it. Why are you not able to log in? In case you haven't received the email ID, don't worry. I'm reiterating, please register again and you will receive the login to your educational account through Adobe. The registration link is open till 30th of this month. I can see on my screen some of the participants are telling us that they did not know about the URL for login. My colleague Jasmeet has just now explained you the process of login. We have also shared with you the welcome kit along with a web page which has been specifically designed for this program. The web page, the login guide, all these tools contains the URL which is www.new.express.adobe.com. It contains, the guidebook contains the URL which you have to click to go to Adobe Express sign-in page. When you reach the sign-in page, please enter your registered email ID followed by your password. I can also see some of the users are telling us that they have not received the access. Again, please submit the registration form again so that we can provide you with educational account access. Thank you, Tanvi. I think we are good to move now.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to all the viewers for submitting your responses. We can see that you are as excited as we are, and like the session, the title of the session says that we are designing digital portfolios and web pages using Adobe Express. Let me please ask Jasmeet ma'am, would you like to highlight more on this?
Sure. So today we are going to talk about how to create web pages on Adobe Express, and we are going to focus on how we can create these single web pages in which we can actually put in a lot of information. So I could create a web page on one of the lesson plans that I'm going to teach to my students. I could create a web page on a digital portfolio. I could do examples of whatever activities I'm going to do in the classroom. I can also have web pages that have portfolios, that have resumes, that also have presentations, etc. So these are all the things that we are able to create via web pages. And today we are going to take you through the process of how we can create these single page web pages on Adobe Express and how we can make our content more visual, how we can add elements like pictures, text, videos, GIFs, and all of these things in a single web page and present our information more clearly and present and to be able to also, I would say, show or represent whatever we are creating visually. So that's what we're going to do today, Tanvi.
Okay. So, Niharika ma'am, for further enhancing the answer, would you like to cite some examples?
Surely. I personally feel that web pages are a powerful way of engaging in digital storytelling. Basically, in a web page, we can package together a variety of content, whether it's textual content, whether it's videos, it's lesson plans, anything, assignments, all the things can be packaged together. We can maintain class records, we can showcase students' achievement, we can also create a log for the events that keep happening in our school or everyday other activities. Basically, we can also showcase the annual day function. We can create a separate web page on annual day function and then we can link it up with the main school website. So there are so many things that can be done with web pages. So to begin with, before we actually move on to designing a web page, let me just showcase you an example of how web pages are being designed, and just let me showcase you my screen so that we can move on to and look how beautifully one of the schools have designed this web page. Yeah, as you can see on my screen, this is a web page which has been designed by one of the schools on Meri Mati Mera Desh. Look how beautiful it has been done. The videos of the school have been embedded on the web page. It can be played from the web page itself. Then there's a message from the principal moving ahead, depicting what exactly Meri Mati Mera Desh depicts, and so on. So everything, as you can see, is packaged onto a singular web page. And very frankly, you need not be a coder, but you can create a web page with Adobe Express. It is that easy, and that's what we are going to learn today. So as I was telling you that there are so many things that can be done using a web page. Basically, web pages gives freedom to the teachers. It's like an immense tool to create large number of content, a large scale content, and teachers can churn out a lot of digital content and then provide it to their state government, submit it for evaluation on Diksha, like for crowdsourcing and all. So it's like a great tool for you to use. Before we proceed further on how web pages are designing, I would like to ask you a question. Where do you think you would use to design for web pages? How you can best utilize this tool by Adobe to design like to use in your classroom. For this, I'm just showcasing you a QR code. Please scan the QR code to submit your responses and tell me how best you can utilize Adobe Express web pages in your classroom or in your school activities.
So teachers, we are looking forward to your thoughts on, you just saw a web page, right? And it was a beautiful web page about all the information about this project that the school had done. So I would request you to send in your submissions so that we can see what are the kind of thoughts that are coming into your mind on how you can utilize Adobe Express web pages and what all you can create on these web pages. A couple of examples that I gave you all were that we could create portfolios, we could do presentations, we could do resumes, we could do student presentations. We could also create newsletters, monthly or bi-monthly, whatever kind of newsletters you create at school. We could do different club activities or showcase those club activities using web pages, right? So there is a whole lot of thing, there's literally a lot of things that we can do on web pages, but we would want to hear your responses and we would want to see what all you think can be created using web pages. So we're waiting for your responses in the next 30-40 seconds. We expect you to send in some answers either on YouTube Live, or you could use the Mentimeter code that Niharika has just presented so that we can get your submissions and we could start and give you examples of how you can utilize web pages in your day-to-day lives. So again, can we have the screen please in which this QR code is displayed? Thank you so much. I see there is one response which is grammar activities. That's again a great way, don't you think, Niharika?
Definitely. Participants, we are waiting for you to respond. Portfolios, great. The Mentimeter will remain open for another 30 seconds. Please submit your responses. We would like to hear your thoughts. How best you can utilize this amazing tool in your classroom or school activities. Puzzles, designing for activity. Great. I'm waiting for more responses from your side.
So as we said, you could also send
Newsletters, presentations, great.
Yeah, you could also send in your responses, of course, on the Mentimeter, yes. But if you are not able to somehow access, you could send it on YouTube Live as well, because we definitely see your answers there as well. So again, thank you so much for joining in the session for today. As always, we would want to you all to be engaged in this session also with us. So we would really like you all to just submit in your responses so that we know that what are the kind of examples that are coming into your mind while you think about designing web pages on Express. Thank you so much. Niharika, do we have more responses?
Yes, surely. So if you can see my screen, we have got a lot of responses. We can see that they would like to design school magazines, academic presentations, concept clarities, event updates. That's great. That's a great way of basically utilizing web pages in your classroom and school activity. And as Jasmeet rightly mentioned, there is no limit to amount of content that can be created or showcased using web pages. It's a very smart tool which we bring to you today in this session. And just after this is over, we'll just take you through how you can design your own web page. So I'll give you a walkthrough on how web pages can be designed. I just request all the participants here with us today, please log in into your Adobe Express accounts so that you can also design a web page along with us. So I request you all to please log in so that we can begin and understand how web pages can be designed in Adobe Express.
Absolutely, ma'am. With the 27 responses that we have received in last 1 minute, I think the participants are eager to log into their accounts and create web pages just the way you are suggesting them. So let's go a little further here. And ma'am, I would like to ask you, Jasmeet, ma'am, can you give us more examples on how subject teachers can use this?
Yeah, of course. There are a lot of many ways in which subject teachers could integrate web pages. As I said, one thing is creating lesson plans. So if you want to present information in visual format and you have some text to display, you want to explain a topic using a video, you could also sort of just integrate all of these things into a lesson plan and present it in a visual format, in a web page format, right? And yeah, going back to Niharika, I think it's really important for us now that we start creating one web page because the excitement is built up. And we're all waiting for you to create a web page and show us. So let's start with that, Niharika.
Thank you, Jasmeet. So as Jasmeet was rightly mentioning that we can create lesson plans with a lot of learning materials on a web page. So let's create one web page with a lesson plan. So I'll quickly showcase my screen. I have logged in into my educational account with Adobe Express and I am onto my dashboard. This is my home screen. And as you all are aware by now, this plus button on the left hand side of my dashboard is my magic button. Why is it called a magic button? Because it houses everything that can be created using Adobe Express. So I'll simply click on this plus button. I'll go to create and I will scroll down. As I am scrolling down, you can see over here, there's an option for designing a web page just under video and above the drawing. So you can see, all of you can see this web page. I'll move from the top. I am onto the dashboard. I click on this plus button. I go to create. I scroll further down and I reach this point where I can see web page. So I'll click on this and I can begin by creating a web page. So it will give me a blank template to begin with. Now, what do I design? We were just now talking about lesson plans. So for today's session, I have actually selected a lesson plan from NCERT Class 7 Social Science Our Past book, chapter number 4, The Mughals. So today I'm going to convert some segment of this chapter into a beautiful web page for the students. So as you can see, I have taken in content from the chapter The Mughals from NCERT class 7th book, and I have actually shortlisted my content and created my own Word document. We teachers are in a habit of creating lesson plans. We plan our lessons before we deliver in the classroom, right? So this is what I have done. Today, I am your teacher. So as a facilitator for this session, I have also planned my lesson. So I have jotted down some important points that I would like to add onto my web page from NCERT class 7th book, chapter number 4. And now let's begin by creating the web page. So I will now go back to my Adobe Express. To begin with, I'll add the title, the Mughal Dynasty. Now I can add a beautiful cover. So I'll click on, if you click over here, it'll give you 3 options. You can add a photo, you can shorten this cover, it'll get reduced. You can increase the size of the cover, you can split the layout. I don't want to split the layout. So I can go back. Yes. So I'll add a photograph to my banner. So when you click on photo, it takes you to this section, which is basically a lot of Adobe stock images. As you're aware by now, we have over 1 million stock images available under Adobe Express. So here I'm going to type Mughals and I'm going to search for some relevant image which matches my lesson plan. So let me just scan. There are a lot of images. I like some of the images, but let me look for something which is most appropriate. So Mughal dynasty was all about the architecture. So we can choose any of these beautiful images which has been provided here. Maybe I can choose this. Yes. It's all about carving, marble, floral design. So that's what I have chosen as my banner for the web page. Now we scroll further down. As you can see, there is a plus button. If you click on this plus button, it will give you option to build your own web page. Now I can add text, I can add a photo, I can add GIFs, I can add YouTube, Vimeo, Adobe Express videos here. I can create a photo grid, I can create a glide show, or I can have a split layout view. So I will show you one of the tool at a time. Let's begin by adding text to our web page. So as I have already shortlisted the text, I am going to copy the text from here and I am simply going to paste my text here. I am only using Ctrl V, Ctrl C and Ctrl V. That's it. It is as simple as that. It's like working on a Word document. So I can add more text by clicking on this plus sign and then going to text again and then selecting this other text that I have already shortlisted for my web page. So as you can see, I have designed it like that only, that firstly I'll add some text and then I'll add some images to my web page so that my complete lesson is ready to showcase. Okay, now let me add a photo which talks about the Mughal Empire in India. Now, if I don't have a relevant photo, I can also upload a picture from my device. So I'll click on upload picture from the device. And I'll upload a picture. And I can add a caption to my picture. Okay, so as you can see, I have started building my web page. and it took me only 30 seconds to add in so much content, and it was so easy. Now, as you can see on the top, I can also change the name of my web page by clicking on this untitled part. So I can type the Mughal dynasty because that's what I am designing today, and let it sink in. As you can see, the name has been changed. Now over here you can see that it gives me this wand on the top ribbon, gives me option to select themes. I can click on it and a small window will pop open on your left hand side, which contains predefined templates. These templates are basically the styling of your web page. So I can choose any of these templates. Even if I don't choose it right now, I can go back and make changes whenever I want to. So I'm going to choose one of the templates and let this template be synced in into my web page. See, I've changed the theme of my web page. It's looking even more beautiful. See, this is how it is looking, and we are just started building our web page. Now, if you want to see how it will appear to the audience, you just click on this eye which says preview. Just click on this preview and it will showcase you how your web page is coming out. See, this is how my web page is going to look. It's looking so neat and beautiful. Let's get back and add more elements to our web page. Now I have gone back to my editor window of the web page. I can also edit this image to have a full width. As you can see, you can have it inline, you can have it filling up the entire screen, or you can just increase the width of this image just like this. So that is totally up to you. How do you want to create and depict images on your web page? Now let me add a video to my web page which talks about the great Mughal and how the Mughal dynasty started in India. So when I click, I'll just showcase it to you again. Let me cancel it. I just have to click on this plus sign and select video as my option this time because I want to add video to my web page. So just click on video. I've already shortlisted a video from YouTube which I can add over here, which is depicting the timeline of the Mughal dynasty. So I'll simply copy and paste the video here and save it. See, the video is now embedded in my web page itself. Isn't it great? So now if I go back to the preview, I can see the video also embedded on my web page. And I can also play this video from here itself. So we need not jump to YouTube. We can play videos within our own web pages. So I'll just close this preview and go back to my designing. Now let's also explore what exactly do we mean by glide show. Now let's click on glide show to understand how it looks. Glide show is basically, I would say, a floating text over a background. Now since I have clicked on the glide show, I'll have to select a background image. Now since we're talking about Mughal, so let's search for something similar. Let me select this as an image for my glide show and let me save this image. And as you can see over here, this is how it will look. The image is still loading and this is the front side. Now the image has fully loaded and this is how the front, this text is gliding over the backdrop image. That's why it is called a glide show. Now I can add again text, photo, video, GIF, buttons, anything on my glide show. So let's continue by adding more text. Now let's see, I would like to talk about Babur, the first Mughal emperor. So let me add text. Now this text is my heading. So how do I change the text to heading? Simply select the text And as you can see, when you select the text, it gives you option to select either heading 1, 2 or any of these modifications. So click on H1, which is heading 1, and centrally align it so that your heading for this segment is set. Now let's add more text to it by clicking on plus sign. It's as simple as that. Just keep on clicking the plus sign and keep on adding whatever element you would like to add to your own text web page. Now let's see, let me add an image of Babar. I can upload it from the device. And here you go. And I can add a title to my image. Okay, and then I can also add a video or more images to it. So this is how it's gonna look. Now let's also experiment with more styles. Let me say, let's add a split layout. Split layout, you can decide whether you would like to add an image on the left hand side or you would like to move the image to the right hand side. That totally depends on you. So this is how the split view is going to look. So before the split view also, I can add text to my web page. So let me add this text, another title to my web page, which is the Battle of Panipat, and let me give it another heading, H1. This is my first level heading. Let me add an image to my split view. Let me see. Let this be, yeah, this is the Mughal Empire during Babur, and let me add text on this side. See, again, I can add text, I can add anything I want to. So let me just add text to this segment. So this is how it is looking. Let's have a preview. Let's look at the preview and how it is coming out. So this is my web page, the Mughal dynasty. We have the introduction. We have the great Mughals. Then we have a video on the timelines of the Mughal Empire in India. Then we have a glide show talking about Babur, the first Mughal ruler of India. Then Battle of Panipat. And we can keep on building this web page. You can also add assignments on this web page so that when you share this web page with your students, you can ask them to submit their assignments, to perform, complete the assignments and submit their assignments here itself. So let me add one more video to this. See, it's that simple. I've added a video on Battle of Panipat, and then I can add another glide show. Okay, let me add this as a glide show and save. I can move this text box anywhere on my screen, as you can see. I can keep it on the left hand side, I can push it to right, or I can centrally align it. I like myself centrally aligned because it gives me more space to add text and videos. So let's complete this segment on Babur. See, within 5 minutes, we have created a complete lesson plan on Babur. So see, it's how simple. You can create any of your lessons, whether your science chapter or is it your maths chapter, your English poem, your Hindi poem, anything can be converted into a beautiful web page. You can also record your own videos using Adobe Express and paste it, embed it on this web page. See how beautifully this has come out. That's it. I can save the videos. This is how it is looking. The gardens during the barber succession. And towards the end, assignment for the students. You can also add date to your assignment because this web page is going to be with you. You can keep on modifying whenever you want to. So today, if I am delivering only one lesson on say barber and I want to build upon it, I can again revisit the web page and enhance it. And I can over here, I can create a button on assignment 1, and you can add your Google form link to your web page so that students are able to complete the assignment and save. So when students click on it, they will land up on the Google form or Microsoft form to look at the assignments. So let's have a look at the final web page and how it has come off. See, this is the final web page and this is how we have designed our lesson within 5 minutes only. And see how beautifully it has come off. And we have an assignment also for the students. So students can click on this and they will jump onto the assignment and they can submit by logging into their Microsoft or Google accounts. Now once you have done creating a web page, you need to then publish your web page to make the URL available. So let's see how we can publish the web page. Now that I have completed it, you can go back to the top ribbon and you can see there's this share button, right? This blue share button. Click on this blue share button. Click on publish to web. You can edit the title. You can Mughal Dynasty lesson 1. This is my lesson 1, so I've added lesson 1 to it. And then you can create the link. Click on create link to publish your project. Once again, whenever I am publishing any of my project, whether it's an infographic, whether it's any photograph or a web page, everything gets published within Adobe Cloud itself. So you see the link is already published. I can copy this URL and now I can circulate this URL with all my students so that they can view this web page and towards the end they can complete the assignment also. I can also share this web page while I am taking a class and I can showcase them how exactly the Mughal dynasty came to India, what was the Battle of Panipat, because everything has been derived from NCERT book. So convert your chapters into beautiful web pages. So that's how it is done. I hope you understood how it was depicted and I sincerely hope that you are also trying it alongside as you have logged in into your Adobe Express accounts.
Absolutely, ma'am. I think all of our viewers, they have understood how to create a web page. You have truly explained in each and every detail that how it is time consuming, how it is quick and it's fun to create. And if one can easily create the chapters of NCERT into a web page, what could be better than that?
Surely.
So this was really fascinating and now I'm eager to create a web page of my own. But here I would like to ask Jasmeet ma'am here. Ma'am, would you like to tell us if any subject teacher would like to use this, how can they use it?
Sure. So I actually have pulled out great examples of the kind of web pages our teachers have already created. So I would now like to present my screen so that I can share with you all what are the kind of web pages that you all can see in here. But before that, I think I was just checking our Padlet and you all know that you have been sending in a lot of information in the Padlet as well. So we can just very quickly, I saw that these two assignments had come in, but because it says welcome to Adobe Express, so there might be a case that you might not have shared the correct link with us. So I'm also going to share with you how you can share the correct link so that we can open your web pages and see what you are creating. All right. So I'll just go back to my screen and present a couple of projects that were created by teachers. So this is one on the civilization, and as you can see, it has a beautiful background image and talks about the most widespread civilization. And if I start scrolling to the, I'll just go back up again. I'm sorry, I just skipped through. So if I start scrolling, gives a very nice description of what the location is, and a couple of photos, as you can see, has a glide show on which all of this architecture is coming in live, the art and culture about the civilization is coming to life. And if you can see, it talks about the economy of Indus Valley as well. And then if you can see, as I keep scrolling, I keep getting more information about this. So the last one is pottery. So basically this web page was created to sort of give an information out on what Indus Valley was and how it looked like and what were the elements in there. So this was an example that we just saw. I'm also going to move to another example on science, which is about asexual reproduction in plants. And as you can see, as I keep scrolling, it gives me a glimpse of what are the type of asexual reproduction in the plants. And if I keep scrolling, and as you can see, this is like a split layout. It has an image on the one side and text on the other side. How Niharika very clearly mentioned that we could do this also. And then there's a glide show which talks about binary fission. And as you keep moving, there are more elements that keep coming in here. So this is, you can see it is so visually aesthetic, and at the same time, it sort of presents information for us that can be shared with students, and students will also enjoy looking at information like this and learning from this, and also then they can get inspired by your web pages that you create for them, and they could create their own learning web pages. So I learned today this in classroom, and they could present that information in form of a web page. So this was another example of one of these web pages that the teachers have created. Now there's another one which was created by a student, which was on India's first ever manned space exploration mission. And as you can see, it talks about what Gangayaan was, when it was launched, and it talks about the entire process as well. And as you can see how beautifully the entire thing has come out live in form of this single web page, which talks about the entire information of what Gangayaan is, the phases of rocking testing, how it gets launched, etc. So this is again a beautiful description of how a student can actually present their information. And while Niharika was also explaining, I was seeing on the YouTube live comments that a lot of teachers have mentioned that web pages can be a great way to sort of present art and cultural activities as well. And I completely resonate with that, because you could also, any events that you have in school, Niharika also mentioned about the annual day. So any events that you have in school and you want to like create a report on that, or you want to present that information and share with parents that, hey, this is the event that we have and here's a web page on all of these things that we covered during that event. So you could do that in that format as well. I also have one accountancy lesson plan that was created by a teacher, and as you can see, very easily the teacher has put in all the details, the objectives that would be covered in that chapter, and along with that the learning outcomes, the topics, the subtopics, any previous knowledge required. So as you can see, it could be very visual also, but it could be as simple as this one where you can just present like information. And I think this video has been brought down, which is why it says this, but you could just have a video that will go on, and you could then also add in one, as you can see, there's a question paper that has been added at the end, so that you could present or ask the student learnings as well. And with that, I'm going to go and jump on to one of the last lesson plans I have for today's session, which is like a transdisciplinary lesson plan that was created by 3 teachers. And you can see that this was created by them on these learning objectives, where they amalgamated 2 subjects like geography and science, and they talk about these learning objectives, and they spoke about how the survival of the fittest lesson plan and its stages and development, as you can see. And there's an assignment as well on which you can just click and sort of go to this assignment and work on it. So this is how creative it could get, and this is how you could like do these fun activities along with your students, make them use the links, make them use all the elements that they are in the web pages, and that's how you could create these web pages. And I think these are like a lot of examples of how teachers can actually use these web pages and make them handy. And with that, I think I'd also like to very quickly just go back to our Padlet, where I can already see that the teachers have started adding in their web pages. Thank you, Preeti ma'am from GD Goenka School, Gurgaon. Thanks for sending in your submission. So as always, we request all our viewers to keep also engaging with us during the sessions. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat box on YouTube so that we can look at your questions and answer the questions for you. Also, keep adding in whatever projects you are creating in here in the Padlet as well. It's a very easy process. You simply have to click on the plus button. And right now, because we have web pages, so you'll not be able to upload them. Instead, you click on the link option and then paste your web page link over here. Once you paste the web page link, you'll be able to publish that. So I'm going to show that also to you in a while. But yeah, those are all the examples, Sanvi, of how we can create web pages on Adobe Express and how teachers can make use of these different lesson plans and different activities that they create using web pages.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for clarifying that no matter what subject a teacher is teaching, he or she can easily create a web page of their own and make it as catchy and attractive as they can.
Yes,
and there
definitely.
are multiple options for that. So, ma'am, I would like to request you that would you like to design a web page here to showcase our portfolio and experience maybe?
Sure, why not? So I think digital portfolios is something that we spoke about in the beginning of the session also. Now, digital portfolios are a great way to present your learning, to present your skills also in the form of a web page. So a lot of times when we want to present our information, like let's say I want to present information about me and I want to showcase it in form of a web page. How do I do that? So for that, again, as I said today, I will be showcasing how I can create my own personal digital portfolio and how I can also enable my students to create their individual portfolios so that they can present the graph of their learning over a period of time. So as you can all see on my screen, I have this Adobe Express home screen right in front of me. But before I start creating a digital portfolio, I'm just going to go to this web page that I created for you all that talks about my digital portfolio and all the elements that should be added in a digital portfolio. Now, as I scroll down, I'm going to talk a little bit about what a digital portfolio is. As you can see, it is something that in which we can, of course, present students' learning, or I can present my learning as well. And it's a portfolio that can showcase both student achievements, student learnings over a period of time to demonstrate their growth. A portfolio also includes like similar work that is done over the course of several years. So let's say if I'm a student of arts, or if I'm somebody who's really into science experiments, I could present my experiment that I did in class 6 and then in class 7, in class 8, etc. And I could add all of that in this one single web page. I'm also going to add certain like information about what is it that you should include in a portfolio for sure. So as you can see, about me section is a must. You should always include about you, like who are you and where are you coming from, so that the visitor knows that this is a portfolio about you. Then you should definitely include your passions and interests. You should include your skills as well, so that the person who's looking at your portfolio knows about your skills. And then you can also include a couple of work samples, something that you have done over a period of time. So it could be Adobe Express creations, or it could be any other videos or photos that you have of the projects that you have might have done in previous classes. And then there are extracurricular activities that you could also include, like apart from your work, what else do you enjoy? So you could add those elements as well. So for today, I'm going to show you how will I create a digital portfolio for myself. And again, teachers, you can all try this along with me, because I know you have your information handy and you could make a portfolio of your own as well along with me. So to do that, I'm going to start with build a web page. I'm going to click on build a web page on my home screen, and my you can see a document sort of opens up in which I'm going to say and add my title over here, and I'm going to say my digital portfolio. Now that's the title of my portfolio, and I can also add a subtitle in here, and I can say that this is the portfolio of Jasmeet, and that's where I'll write in my full name. Now, I want my portfolio to have a really nice background image because it should represent who I am or the work that I do or something that I really, really like. So either I could go and click on this and go to a photo options and I could choose like abstract pictures. So I could say like I want to go for abstract and textures and maybe select these pictures, or I could type in what is the kind of picture that I'm looking at. Let's say if I say I want a gradient background, which are like really simple plain backgrounds, and I press the enter button, you can see these are all very plain backgrounds that come in that you could use as your digital portfolio's background. But you all know that I'm a very like floral person, and I have been emphasizing that in my sessions also, that I really enjoy plants and nature and flowers. So I'm going to go for something like that, and which is why I'm going to write here, maybe I'm going to just say flowers and or maybe flowers background, and then select one picture that sort of represents or that sort of gives in a nice effect to my portfolio. So let's try with something that is dark in color because my text here is really, really light. So I try to bring in something that is a little dark. So probably this one. You can see how it is enhancing my text that I have written. And as you can see also, my image is loading in the background. So you should all just wait for your images, like background images and everything, to load so that it becomes like very clear whatever you are adding. So once you have added this, I will start adding the information. Now remember, the first thing that I said that you should include about yourself is something about yourself, right? So I'm going to click on the plus button and say text. Now when I click on the text option, I will write about me over here, and then I'll make sure that this text is centrally aligned and also is a little big. So I'm going to choose H2, and then I'm going to start writing about me. I already have a couple of lines that I have typed in here, so I'm going to pull that up from here. I'm just doing Control C and V as Niharika mentioned, and I'm going to add in my text just by simply saying Control V. And if you want, again, you could centrally align it, left align or right align it, and you could also increase the size of it if you want to. You could have it in like quotes format, or you could like have pointers as well if you want to. But I think I'll just go with like the very plain, which is the H2, and I'll make this a little bigger. So I'm going to make this as H1 so that it's like a bigger heading. Now after about me, what do I add? So as you can see, I've added about my interests. So I'm interested in painting and reading, and that's what I really, really enjoy. But I want to add my interest in a separate format. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say my interests, and once I have, sorry about that, and then once I have this, I'm going to make it H1 again and centrally align. Now I want to express my interests in a format which is more visual. So I'm going to choose a photo, and I'm going to search for a picture here, and in here I'm going to write that I enjoy painting. So I'll search for a picture that is, or you could add your picture while painting something. That is something that you could also do. So I'm looking for basically a canvas or colors or something like that. So I'm just going to pick this one because it sort of resonates. It has a lot of colors and it has this painting element as well. And I'm going to caption it. So I'm going to say my interest is painting, and that's about it. And then I'm going to also, because I mentioned reading as well, so I'm going to wait for this picture to load. You can see it's clear now. I'm going to add in one more photo and say reading, or I'm just going to search for books. And then I can add as many like book options that I see over here, and one picture of course that I really, really resonate with or I like. Or I could say actually a library, because that is going to bring in very beautiful images, I believe. So yeah, you can see now there's so many beautiful images of library. And what I'm going to do is just select one from here, probably this one, which has like books tagged and also shows like a bookshelf at the back. So I'm just going to add a caption over here and say reading. So those are the two things that I've added. You can see how beautiful my page is coming out. I have my background image, I have my digital portfolios heading, about me section, my interest. The next thing that I'm going to add is my skills. So I want to mention that what are my skills and what am I good at. So again, in my skills, what I'm going to do is add some text, type in my skills over here, and then I'm just going to click on this, again make it like a bigger heading, centrally align it, and then in my skills, what I'm going to do is have like a split layout, and on one section I can add what my skill is going to be, and the other section I can add the I could add the photo to it. So I'm just going to say communication, because I think I'm good at that, and so I'm just going to click on the central alignment and probably just have this as a code. And in here, I'm going to add an image, probably that talks about communication or something that resonates with it. And then let's see one image that comes into my mind. So probably just select one of these. Let's go for a very, very simple image that sort of has information about that. So probably this one. And then next you can see I have mentioned problem solving, creativity. So you could just add on to the list and you could keep adding either split layout, or you could add more photos. You could add a photo grid also about your whatever you think you are good at. So you could do that as well. The next part is I'm going to add some work samples, because I want to show that this is the kind of work that I have done. So I'm going to say work samples over here. And then in here, what I'm going to do again is make sure that it comes in as a heading, centrally aligned, and now is the time when I start adding photos and also videos. So the first picture I think that I will add is, I'll upload it from my device. I have it on my desktop. It's my Gen AI photo that I created a couple of weeks back. So I can say that this is one of my work samples, that this is a Gen AI picture that I created. And also in the caption, I'm going to write down what is something that I typed. So I'm going to just write down, copy paste, and type this over here as a caption so that you all can see what I typed when I created this picture. And I'm going to just add one simple video. So I'm going to click on this, and as you can see, when I click on the video option, it asks me to either link a video from Express, YouTube, or Vimeo. So I have my link ready of my video over here, something that I created with you all a couple of days back, and I'm just going to copy paste that over here and save. Now teachers, you might see and you might feel that I'm going a bit too fast. So don't worry, you can always come back to this recording on the NCERT channel and watch this video again. Also, if you still have any doubts, questions, we still have about 20 minutes into the session. So we request you to send in your questions to us on the YouTube live as well. Now you can see I've embedded a video, and now probably I just want to end my entire portfolio with maybe just one last GIF or something that I really like or enjoy. So I'm just going to put in here a text saying, all right, just give me a second, FYI, I love my plants. And what I'm going to do is make it as like a code thing, and then I'm going to add this GIF that is already ready, and I'm just going to click on share button, copy the GIF link, go back to my page, click on the plus button and say I want to add this GIF. I'm just going to copy paste the GIF and save it, and there you go. Now you can see me planting giving water to my plants, right? So this is the web page that I have created for myself, which talks about like a digital portfolio, or talks about what is it that like who I am as a person, about me, my interests, etc. I could name this as well. So I could just say my portfolio, and once I have named it, I can then click on this. Also, it's a good option for you all to actually preview or present how your portfolio is going to look like. So you can click on the preview option and see it in a full screen mode as well. Let's just try that again. So you can see this is how your web page is going to look like when you're going to share it with somebody. And then in here, you can also click on this button, which is like the present button, where it goes into a full screen mode and you can present your web page to anybody like this as well. I'm just going to go back and present you how you can share this. And then what I'll do is I'll upload my page to the Padlet so that you all can see how you can upload your creations on the Padlet as well. So I'm going to publish this to web right now. I name it as my portfolio. I'm also going to enable my name so that my name appears at the bottom of my web page, and I'm going to click on create a link. Now I'm sure that you all are still looking and creating your own projects, trying to find out what are the elements you would want to include. Now while doing all of this, remember you have to share your creations with us today for sure. So once your link is generated, you copy this link from here and you go back to your Padlets. We'll present the Padlet code in a couple of minutes, but I'm going to show you first how you can create a post, Padlet post on your web page. So I'm going to click on the link button, the second button, and I'm going to paste that link over here. And I'm going to click on this arrow, and you can see it's processing, and I'm going to name this as my portfolio, and I will say my name, and I can also say my school name or whatever. You can add that as well. So now you can see my portfolio is displaying here. And when I click on the publish button, it sort of gets published here, and you can see my portfolio starts appearing in the Padlet. Now, if your portfolio looks something like this, which says welcome to Express, then there's chance that you have not published the correct link. What you might have done is you might have just copy pasted this link and pasted it there. That's something you should not do. Instead, you should click on the share button, generate a publish to web link, copy the link, and then go back to the Padlet and then present your portfolio over here. And that's how I created, Tanvi, a very beautiful portfolio, a very simple one in which I sort of presented my information and showcased it to anybody who I wish to.
Absolutely, ma'am. It was a beautiful portfolio, and if this is the way, then anyone can create their personal portfolios and even present it or publish it anywhere they want. They can share it with their friends, they can put it on social media profiles, and they can put it anywhere. So this was wonderful, and the way you showed each and every point, that how one can add text, how one can add a video or even GIF, this was amazing to see. It was a treat to watch, actually. With this, ma'am, we received a question by one of our viewers, and she is Nidhi Sarda, and she asked the question that please show again to embed the video, and you actually showed it. Would you like to show it once again? It'll just take a minute or so.
Sure. I'll just do that very quickly. So on my screen, as you can see, if I have to embed a video, what I'll do is I'll just simply click on the plus button, and then on my screen, as you can see, I have a video option, right? I click on the video option, and then in here, I type in a link, either an Express link or a YouTube video link or a Vimeo link, and click on the save button. So for example, I had this particular video link with me ready. I'm just going to say copy link URL, and I'm going to paste it here. And once I have pasted and saved, it automatically sort of comes in, and it will show if it is an Express video or a YouTube video. And when you share this with somebody, they'll be able to click on it and play.
Thank you, Jasmeet. That was a wonderful walkthrough on how you can create your digital portfolio. Let me also give you a few more glimpses on how portfolios have been created by teachers, by students. And let me just share my screen with you. See, I'll just show you some of the portfolios which have been created by some of the students. As you can see, in today's world, I personally feel that it's very important to showcase our skills, our experiences. And as a teacher, you may guide your students to create their digital portfolios, which will actually come handy for them to submit their college applications, for internship applications, etc. Students actually will also understand that there's a need to build on more skills to make their portfolios more impressive. So that's why I feel that digital portfolio is actually a way to depict what you know and where exactly what's your passion lies at and what all you are interested in. That gives a beautiful window for the employers, for the interview to peep into. So as you can see, I'm showcasing some of the beautiful digital portfolios that has been created by some of our students. So these are some of the beautiful portfolios. And I think as part of like today's session, we learned about creating web pages, be it for your lessons or be it for your extracurricular activities. We also learnt about creating digital portfolios. And just a suggestion, as part of your holiday homework, you can also ask your students to create a travel blog. Students, they actually go out on a vacation during their holidays. A lot of students, they are nowadays interested in creating travel vlogs. Those travel vlog videos can also be embedded in their digital portfolios, in their web pages. They can create new travel blogs using Adobe Express web pages.
Yeah, Niharika, you brought in a very great point, and I actually had pulled up some portfolio activities for students as well. And as you can see on my screen, there's activity that is about my best written work, my summing up my school year. So if you scroll down, you can see there are some introductory activities that you could do. Hello, my name is this, and this is who I am. You could talk about your creative identity. There's another activity that you could do with your students, which is about writing a portfolio template. So how I created mine, how they can write, like how they can collect information about whatever they are going to add in their portfolios, and then how they design their portfolios. So you could give them these examples. And then, as I said, a very great example that you just mentioned, which is like maybe talk about how they spent their holidays, right? And how they summarizing their school years, or creating a summer folio for whatever they did during the summers. So these are all the kind of examples I think that you could bring in your classrooms.
Definitely.
And your students could also create beautiful, amazing stuff.
Absolutely, ma'am. So these are wonderful examples of how one can create their own digital portfolios, be it their summer vacation or anything else, right? And with this, ma'am, we have received certain questions from our viewer side. So may I ask?
Sure.
A viewer, Shashi Ramachandran, she is asking that can we download the web page, or the link is the only option to share it with others?
Web pages cannot be downloaded. So we have showcased you how you can share your web page. So just click on the blue button, share button, publish it to the web, copy the URL, and then that URL is good to be circulated around. You can also embed that URL anywhere in any of the social media accounts, so that your web page is visible to everyone.
Okay.
I hope that addresses your query, Tanvi.
Absolutely, ma'am. Shashi Ramachandran, I hope you've got the answer that you were looking for. Another question is by Anjula Bhatnagar, and she's asking that suppose we want to remove a background where we mentioned the title. How can we do that?
Okay, so do you want us to showcase that?
Maybe.
Surely. So I'll just go back to the web page that has been designed in today's session. Yeah, as you can see on the screen, I've already pasted one photograph. Now I want to change this picture. So just click on this segment. You can see this replace button. Just go to replace. You can either upload any of your own images if you want to, or you can simply change to another image. I'm changing it to another image, and as you can see, this is how it is done. It's so easy and quick.
Just a button away.
Just a button away.
Okay. So we have received a lot of questions, but before that, let me just tell all the teachers, teacher educators and school leaders that you can also submit your responses. You can also share what you have created so far. So there is a particular QR code which can be used by you, and you can share your creations with us. So I am also very excited, and I am definitely going to create my own digital portfolio today itself using Adobe Express. So here, just meet ma'am, would you like to show the QR code to all our viewers?
Sure. So can we have the QR code in which we have the in which the teachers can actually just scan this or take a picture of this, keep it handy, and whenever you create your portfolios, whenever you create any web page, please upload that on the Padlet that I just showed you, so that we all can see your creations. And I can already see that there are so many creations that are coming in. And I can see Ms. Shashi Ramachandran, who just asked us a question, also uploaded her webpage. So thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you for that. And I can see more teachers who are adding in their web pages. There's Shagun ma'am. There are other, there's somebody who has added a page on Roman numerals. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for sending in these creations to us. We are really looking forward to to all these creations that you're sending to us. And we really look forward to looking at all your individual digital portfolios and how you bring it out alive in your classrooms as well.
So with this, we have got a great response from all the educators, and we know that they're enjoying the program, they're enjoying the entire process of how to create these digital portfolios and even web pages. Another question we have received is from our viewer, and she is Sheetal Arora, and she's asking that after saving the web page, can we also edit it again later on and make changes?
Definitely. As Jasmeet has been conducting all the sessions and she's been telling you that you can always revisit any of your projects that you have created in Adobe Express. That applies to web pages as well. So I have created my web page. I can go back and edit it whenever I want to. So as we were just telling you, today I depicted only one lesson on Babur under the Mughal dynasty. I can again go back and add the second lesson plan to the existing web page, or delete this web page and add a new content. So there's no limit to the number of times I can edit my creation.
Okay, great. Another question is by the viewer Preeti Saxena, and she's asking, if I edit my page after publishing, do I have to publish that again?
Yes, definitely. So there are actually a lot of changes we keep on making to our lesson plans, right? We might not get like everything correct in the first go. So what you all could do is that you can actually just go back to your web pages, redesign whatever you want to, add in elements, delete elements, and I can just very quickly show you on my screen that how you could republish your web pages that you have created. So as you can see on my screen, my digital portfolio is available, and oh, that's the Mughal dynasty. So as you can see, if I click on the share button and I have done some changes, so you could just click on the publish changes option, and once you do that, you can click on the republish button, and once you click on the republish button, you can just update the same web page. So you don't need to reshare the link with anybody, but instead whoever is going to open after you have republished will see all the new changes that you have made to your web page. So that's how easy it is, just a two-step process where you just click on the share button, click on publish changes, and then republish your page. That's about it.
That's great, ma'am. That is easy. Each and every step is pretty easy. Once one will start doing it, I'm sure they are going to enjoy the process. We have one more question, and the question is that do you have the control, or whosoever is creating the web page, he or she is the only person who has the control to make changes later on, or they can also share the control with someone else?
So, all right. So, if you are somebody who likes to do collaborative work, so let's say if me and Niharika are grade 6 teachers, I am in 6th A, Niharika is in 6B, and we are wanting to create a project that is a collaborative project, and we want to collaborate on the web page as well. What I could do is I could share my web page or add Niharika as a collaborator to my web page, and then Niharika and I, both of us, can work together on the web page. We can actually show you how that is done on our screen. So as you can see, my screen, I have the option over here where I can click on the invite collaborators button. Once I do that, and press on the invite collaborator button, I can type in an email address, and once I type in the email address, I could just press the enter button and give that person a right to edit my page. So then two people can collaborate on the same page, and they could create content on the same page, and they could publish it together as well.
Okay, that is great. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And with this, I would like to thank both of you for all the information that you have shared with all our viewers. And we have now understood that Adobe Express is a wonderful software, and one can do a lot of things. One can create a lot of things, design a lot of things using this particular software. So thank you so much to all the viewers as well. पर अगर आप अपने feedback देंगे तो हमें बहुत ही ज़्यादा अच्छा लगेगा. अगर आपके पास कोई feedback है, कोई advice है, कोई suggestion है, कुछ ऐसा है जो आप हम तक पहुँचाना चाहते हैं, तो आप अपनी बात ज़रूर पहुँचाइएगा. There's a particular QR code which we would like to share with you. Just scan it and write down your suggestions, your advice, your feedback. If you liked the entire program, if you didn't like anything in it, please share your feedbacks. Your feedbacks are very important to all of us, and we would like to have them. So this particular QR code is for today's program. Please scan it and let us know what you think is fine or it's not fine about this program. So thank you once again for being with us today, and let me tell you that we are wrapping up this particular program, this 8th training session of our pilot program titled Designing Digital Portfolios and Web Pages using Adobe Express. हम आपसे मिलेंगे अब अगले Mangalwar, that is Tuesday 2nd of July, and the title that we would be discussing with you will be Enhancing the Teaching Learning Process with Adobe Express with AI features. So let me repeat it again, enhancing the teaching learning process with Adobe Express using AI features. And this will be on the same platform, that is NCERT Events YouTube channel, where you can raise your questions, your queries regarding this particular topic, and we'll love to answer all your queries during that particular program. Thank you so much, and we'll meet you next on 2nd of July at the same time, that is 3:30 p.m. and we'll stay with you till 5 p.m. Thank you once again. Have a beautiful day ahead. Take care. I'm Tanvi Khurana and I'll take leave of you. Namaskar.